Hello everyone, my name is Del Ellis, and I just want to say how very excited I am to be with you here today and to spend a few moments with you together. What's going to make our time so special today is I'm here to talk to you about a subject that I'm extremely passionate about, and I know it's going to make a difference in everyone's life, and more importantly, in their business life of every organization. Of course, the topic that I'm going to be talking to you about is leadership. What would it be worth to you to learn from another leader's mistakes? If you could gain that insight and the strategies from the other leaders' years of trial and errors, would you be interested in it? Why, of course you would, wouldn't you? But please understand, this is a huge subject, and I'm going to be basing all my comments on John Maxwell's book entitled Leadership Gold. So I wanted to just talk to you about some of the lessons in this book that we can help you and myself increase on our leadership ability today. I'm sure at one time or another you experienced some failure when leading other people, or perhaps even yourself, isn't that right? And I don't know about you, but when I sat in that heap after making a colossal blunder in my leadership, I wish somebody would have warned me or taught me about this. Of course, the stakes are extremely high in leading people today. There's more pressure for completion, slimmer margins, and the pressure to perform is increasing, not decreasing in today's market. How would you like the advantage of helping your team become more successful? Well, of course you do, don't you? But before we get started talking about leadership, I want you to think about acting on what you're going to learn. Now, the A stands for act, the C stands for change, the T stands for teach others. And I want to challenge you right now to apply what you're going to learn today on how to handle defining moments and criticism, which is episode 3 of our 8-episode series on Leadership Gold. It's been said, a wise person learns from their mistakes. A wiser person learns from others' mistakes. But the wisest person of all learns from others' successes. Now, the author of this book, Leadership Gold, is a friend of mine and a mentor since 2016. Of course, John Maxwell has mentored thousands of individuals and hundreds of companies over his leadership career. He believes and has proven in his work that leadership makes a difference, a huge difference. However, I have to give you, a disclaimer. Leadership's going to require a lot from a person. Make no mistake, it's demanding and complex. I don't want you to be like Charlie Brown, who admired a sandcastle he had created in the beach, only to have it leveled by a huge downpour. And then as he looked at the smooth place where his artwork once stood, he said, "There must be a lesson here, but I don't know what it is." Will you please join me in mining some gold nuggets from this book? But before we do, however, I'd like to share my goal with you today. My goal is to give you tangible tools so that you could become more successful in both business and life. Today we're going to be focusing on how to handle defining moments and criticism. In our brief time together, I want you to consider some of the following topics. First, if you're lonely as a leader, then what's wrong? And why is it so critical that you lead yourself well? What is the quickest way to elevate and how well you're going to lead your team? How do you lead the toughest person in the room? Of course, people quit people, not companies. And how do you avoid losing key people? Of course, in our limited time together, we're only going to scratch the surface of each one of these, but I want to give you some tangible takeaways to raise your leadership ability today. In the chapter Defining Moments, Define Your Leadership, John points out that oftentimes it's the choices we have to make in times of crisis or challenges that defines us or shapes our leadership. If you want to gain influence with people, solve problems. How you act or fail to act in those moments reveal to others just what a great leader you are or you're not. Times like facing personal failure, taking a stand on issues, experiencing suffering, or making an unpleasant choice. All these and more, when handled rightly, will either catapult us forward or eliminate our effectiveness. No one loves to be criticized. If you do, you probably need some professional help. All right? Now, how do you know your leader? You are getting kicked in the rear. Every leader has a target on his back. And how do you handle the criticism? I love the story of the salesman who's getting ready to go to Rome. Before he went, he was getting a haircut. And the barber asked him, hey, what's going on? He said, well, I'm going to Rome. He goes, Rome? I used to live there. The barber said, Rome is a terribly overrated city. Of course, what airlines are you taking? The barber asked. And the salesman told him the airline. The barber responded, what a terrible airline. Their seats are cramped, their food is bad, and their planes are always late. Then the barber asked him, well, what hotel are you staying at? And the salesman named the hotel, and the barber said, well, why would you want to stay there? That hotel is in the wrong part of town and has horrible service. You'd be better off just staying at home. But the salesman responded, but I expect to close a big deal when I'm there. And afterwards, I hope to see the Pope. And then the barber responded, don't disappoint yourself doing business in Italy. And don't even count on seeing the Pope. He only grants audience to very important people. 3 weeks later, the salesman returned to the barber shop, and the barber asked him, how was your trip? And the salesman replied, wonderful. The flight was perfect, the service at the hotel was excellent, and I made the big sale. And then the salesman paused for effect, and I got to meet the Pope. The barber asked him, you got to meet the Pope? Finally, the barber said, well, tell me what happened. Well, when I approached him, I bent down to kiss his ring, no kidding. And the barber goes, and what did he say? He looked down at my head and said, my son, where did you get such a lousy haircut? Criticism is something you can avoid easily. Saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. Of course, that was by Aristotle. People can change for the better only when they're open to improvement. How you handle criticism is so vital to your growth as a leader when you are criticized. John says, I try to maintain the right attitude by, number 1, not being defensive. Number 2, looking for the grain of truth. Number 3, making the necessary changes. And number 4, taking the high road. When you sit in the leadership seat, criticism always finds your desk. Whether it's legitimate or not, you need to maintain a positive attitude that there's some gold in that pile of dirt. Here are some questions I asked to determine what kind of criticism it is. Number 1, who criticized me? Adverse criticism from a wise person is more to be desired than enthusiastic approval from a fool. The source often matters. Number 2, how was the criticism given? I try to discern whether the person was being judgmental or whether he gave me the benefit of the doubt and spoke with kindness. Number 3, why was it given? Was it given out of personal hurt or for my benefit? You see, hurting people hurt people. They lash out or criticize to try to make themselves feel better, not to help anyone, but just to make them feel better. Whether the criticism is legitimate or not, what determines whether I grow from or groan under unwanted words is my attitude. Well, our time is almost over. For those who want to find out more, here are a couple of ways that you can do that. First, change starts off with awareness, and to increase your awareness, you need to be intentional about your growth. You need to stay in a growth environment. Of course, I offer a variety of programs and opportunities. One of those opportunities is a mastermind program for groups like this, where I come to your facility or we meet online, and we have a meeting once a week, 5 to 12 weeks, based around John Maxwell's resources, and I'll give you a few choices. For those who want to dig deeper and are interested in working one-on-one with me and want to jump on the faster track to success, I have coaching programs that can give you, the results that you want to achieve much faster. Of course, coaching one-on-one is an amazing means to success. It's more intensive, so if you really want to see your results quickly, this is probably the program for you. Everyone, it's been a pleasure to be with you today, and I just want to please ask you not to forget to ACT on what you learned. Of course, that's A for apply, C for change, T to teach others. One last thing, I need your help. If you truly feel that what I shared with you today has helped you in any way, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out any of our leadership episodes. For our Facebook friends, please share this message to others so they could see it. Who knows, they might need your help, or you might have a boss that you feel really needs help in leading. I look forward to working with you again and in the future. My name is Del Ellis, and I'm passionate about changing lives. Thank you so very much.